I went to college at NYU, and then my first job when I graduated from college was as an intern at Roundabout. And then they hired me and I worked here for a few years. So this show coming back is totally surreal and bizarre and is this very strange and wonderful homecoming. I started writing this show, Ordinary Days, about 2.5 or 3 years ago, and I'd gotten a fellowship at this place called the Dramatist Guild, and I'd really wanted to write a show about contemporary New York. I hadn't really written a show that took place in the here and now and was about young people living in New York. So I came up with this idea for a show about 4 characters, and really all about the missed connections in their lives, and ultimately these 4 people in very different ways opening themselves up to letting some of these missed connections become connections that actually happen and transform their lives in some way. So I just started writing about these people whose lives were sort of interconnected in the city and they didn't really realize it. And as I was putting it together, it was very much a process of putting pieces together like a puzzle, because I was really telling these stories through these very individual songs that were sort of juxtaposed next to one another in order to tell these stories. And we don't actually find out really how these stories are all connected until the end of the play. So I was really interested in the idea of the audience sort of being able to make connections on their own as they were watching this show and seeing these, what are essentially fragments of stories that ultimately get connected in the end, and letting the audience sort of take that journey of making connections as well.